So it's just about connecting so that he's having a whole experience of himself. He's not getting cut off from parts of himself that he thinks are scary. If I show him, if I guide him to experience that the tightness can go away and be replaced with ooey gooey, let's go find bugs, right? Then all of a sudden he goes, oh, well, that's not so scary. It goes away. It's temporary. I can be in this place, but it's not going to last forever. It's not going to take me over. It's going to balance itself out. I'm going to come back to, you know, feeling good, and let's get on with it, right? Instead of this, when they feel it and they don't like it, and we don't teach them about it, and they disconnect from it, and then they never want to go back there again. So that the second our children, you know, if they're afraid of it, then they want to numb it, right? If they're afraid of what's going on from the neck down, because the last time they felt it, it didn't feel good, and nobody helped them to feel the polar opposite of it coming down, then they stay afraid and they want to numb. And so look at how early they're numbing. The first taste of marijuana, the first sip of a drink, the first, you know, somebody teaches them how to cut. Well, wow, all that stuff is nectar from the gods, because it takes them out of that place that they're so scared of. We have to show them how to resource themselves back into that optimum zone, in, you know, doing it in a healthy way, as opposed to then finding these really maladaptive coping mechanisms, right, that put a Band-Aid on it. So they get that false feeling of, oh, I feel better, right? That's what the cutting, oh, it just kind of numbs them and takes them out of it. That's what the marijuana, the alcohol does. So we got to be really careful that we're teaching them from a really early age how to connect to all of who they are, which includes sensations, it includes their body, teaching them ways to manage the arousal, resource with sensory awareness, right? So how do we use more specifically, right? Teaching them that, okay, well, when you feel that when you feel those cues inside your body, that's the time to go take a walk around the block. That's the time to look at the, you know, orient around you, see the bird that's flying, hear the traffic or the beach, or, you know, get tuned into life when you're starting to notice this. But we have to help them become aware that this is going on, right? Earlier on in the sequence of events. Because a lot of us don't pay attention to our body till we're in the emergency room. So we were getting a lot of whispers, like, this doesn't feel good, my life's out of balance, oh my gosh, there's that chest pain again, let me have a drink, you know, or, you know, here's that tension I don't like, oh, I feel that awful thing in my throat, you know, gosh, let me just, whatever we do. I mean, I could think of, I've been bringing up marijuana, alcohol, cutting. Some people shop, right? Some people go out and shop, some people gamble. Some people can't have enough sex, you know, where it's not connected, intimate sex. It's, you know, it's the fix. We're looking for the fix. We're looking for the fix to take us out of that place that doesn't feel good. So if we notice earlier on to the little cues from our body that say, I'm out of balance, this doesn't feel so good, let me do something healthy to get that regulation back, to stimulate that self-regulation, that more balanced place, right? If I do that, then I won't need to resort to the Band-Aid or the temporary fix that really just leaves me with all that arousal later. It's all still there, right? You can only have so many orgasms, you can only have so many cigarettes, that you're still left with it. There just aren't that much, there isn't that much food. You know, like it's eventually, you know, you can run but you can't hide. There's the arousal, there's the unhealed place. And so get to the healing through this language of sensations, through a greater awareness of what's going on from the neck down, and things will move. Being able to sit in that discomfort in a grounded way, knowing that it's temporary and it'll pass. That's, once people have the first taste of that experience, where they go in, it's scary, they say, oh my God, no, I don't like this, I don't like this, but they've got someone there with them saying, no, you're gonna be okay, feel your feet on the ground. Just feel your feet on the ground. Look in my eyes, I'm I'm right here with you. You can do this. And just help them to sit with the discomfort until all of a sudden they say, oh, and a big breath comes and they say, oh, it's not so bad anymore. It's kind of going away. Actually, I just feel really warm now. This feels really good. And then they kind of want to sink back in and go, oh, well, that didn't last very long. Why have I been running from it for so long? I can be with it. We can't really be with it alone until some real healing has happened. But we can be with it in a safe relationship with another person in a way that we just get transformed by the experience of what goes up must come down. Oh, okay, I'm gonna be fine. I am gonna be fine. That's an experience. You can't just talk at someone and tell them they're gonna be fine. They have to experience that they move in a sensory way from not fine to, oh, much better. When they have that experience, then you're creating new neural pathways of, trust and faith that, my goodness, I can feel good in my body again. It can be safe again. Yeah, I'm going to be all right. Not because somebody told me I'm going to be all right, because I can feel it moving. I can feel the difference. So, yeah, sensory awareness. So those are some of the most important resources that the neuroscience strongly point to that we can be focusing on as parents and educators and healers and individuals who are just seeking our own healing. We need to start there. And if we can seek a somatic practitioner to help us get there, that's wonderful. But if we can't, if we don't have the money to do that, it doesn't mean that it can't happen. And all the educators that are coming back to me now, I love opening my email box. I get phone calls from educators and emails from educators that I speak to all across North America, and they're sharing with me, I just heard you speak last week, and just in the last 2 days I've been implementing this safety, community, relationship, sensory awareness stuff that you've been talking about. It's already working. I'm already seeing a difference, right? So if I was going to throw out to you some of the most basic things that you could just start doing right now, smile more. It changes the brain. Smile more. What communicates safety to the animal brain more clearly than a genuine, joyous smile, right? Smile at your kids more. Smile at your students more. Smile at your clients more. Look in the mirror and smile at yourself. We know that smiling, of course it's infectious, it causes a smile in another person, but we know from the neuroscience that it reduces heart rate, blood pressure, cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone. It reduces the need for the use of sedatives. Just smiling more. So these teachers now are coming back to me and saying, my gosh, now I greet my students at the door before they ever come in. I've got a little nice music playing in my room when they come in. They have a theme song. I encourage them all to have a theme song now for their community, their classroom community. And they play their song and they stand at the door and they smile and pat the kids on the back and say, I'm so glad to see you today. I'm so glad you're back, right? Even if that kid drove them crazy the day before. They're happy that they're back because you belong to me and I belong to you. And we're a community and we're in this together, right? It's just starting those little things. They say, my goodness, it's like night and day. So there are lots of little things, but I really want to give that message that our little things really add up over time. Just like there's an accumulation of stress and trauma on the nervous system over time in the undesired direction, there is an accumulation on the nervous system over time of these kinds of resources, these small little deeds, these tiny little choices that we make that really soothe the animal brain and create more safety, more relationship, more community, right? And when we make those choices, then breath deepens, right? Safety deepens, that relationship deepens. And then you've got more of a neocortex to work with in the way that you want it to be working in a classroom, for example. We're talking about in a classroom.